Hello, good evening and welcome to Wales and the penultimate night of our groundbreaking television first. 7 nights of Halloween horror. Stay with us as our investigation into the village of the damned continues. These are some of the last 5 nights' harrowing events. Yes.
Native to the spot.
The proper mask on over your face, all right?
What was that? What the hell was that? Oh, there he is again! There he is again!
Yeah, there it
Did you
goes.
hear it?
Yeah.
Satan, Lord of Darkness, ruler of the underworld.
I'll be just dragged into that room.
Bring these spirits into the room, please. Use this energy now. Use the energy. Concentrate. There was a window coming through. Say your name again, Robert. Say your name again.
Oh! Hey!
Do something else to Carl.
Get up here now, get up here now. There is something up here.
The person is Paul Ross. I'll shut you in.
Okay.
Right? And then just bang very loudly and scream if you need to come out, and then I'll ask for things to happen to you. Throw something! Come on, do something!
Somebody just tapped the top of my right foot. There's something on this side of this room, of this, whatever they call it, freezer.
Do you want to come out now?
Yeah, let me out now, please.
Jesus!
Christ!
Please, can you do something? Say again?
Here's stuff underneath that stage.
Somebody just pushed him. Are you alright?
Yeah.
You've got to stop happening. Quick.
I heard footsteps down there.
I saw a pair of feet there and I looked up and there was no head and I went back down and there was no feet.
Carl, what's the matter?
Crying out loud. I swear something pushed me then.
Susan!
Welcome to night 6, the penultimate night of our television first. 7 nights of Halloween investigation. We are in Wales, in an amazing array of buildings, and this place was home to nearly 2,000 people, carers and patients alike. They created a village totally self-sufficient with its own farm, blacksmith, carpenters, everything that a village would need. But it is also said to house some amazingly frightening creatures, with many alleged sightings of ghosts, witches, demons and other beings of the netherworld. Are these assertions true or merely the result of overactive imaginations? Well, that is what we aim to find out. Before I reveal any more, let me introduce the 2 gentlemen who will be guiding you through our coming adventures. Mr. Paul Ross and Julian Clegg!
I think they're pleased to see you.
I think they are. It's lovely. How are you both feeling?
Well, I'm nervous on you the team's behalf because I know tonight's theme is buried, and I just wonder if any of the team are at all claustrophobic.
I think Stuart is claustrophobic. Yes, definitely.
So you're going to be beneath this decaying and dilapidated building tonight?
Absolutely. Goodness knows what's going to happen. We've got a couple of experiments that we're going to try out, and I think we're actually starting here in the studio again, so it's very exciting.
And what's the reaction to last night, the voodoo experiment? People loved it, they were amazed by what happened to Brian, the whole lot.
I honestly thought, when I took the little voodoo doll out of the box, I saw Brian's face on it, and I fell about laughing because it just looked so comical. But when it actually started to work, I thought, no, come on, this is some sort of joke. But it was real.
And again, we had a lot of feedback from people worried about what's going to happen to that voodoo doll or poppet as it's called.
Yeah.
But of course Fred, Fred Batt, our resident demonologist and black arts expert, he disposed of it completely safely, so there is now no connection between that doll and Brian Shepherd.
I know. Well, listen, you two, good luck tonight, and steer the ship safely.
Well, good luck to you. You sit tight for a moment as Julian tells us what's on offer in the next hour. Julian.
Indeed, right. In a few minutes' time, we'll be talking to Yvette and Carl. Very much looking forward to that. And a bit more about where we are. Yes, we are in a former mental asylum built in the early 1800s. Dilapidated buildings. Many of the roofs are literally open to the elements. So when it snowed last night, my goodness, did we know about it. So a great location for our Most Haunted Live Halloween special. Just one night to go to Halloween. Now, put the kettle on, turn down the lights, hide behind the sofa, and what's coming up over the next hour.
We're layered up, aren't we?
Yeah, we've
How many
got
have you got?
coats with a fleece.
Very cold, very cold. I mean, last night the van was iced up completely. Luckily, I've got a heater on board, so I managed to stay warm, which is always nice.
My name is Simon Cornwell. My hobby, if you could call it that, is urban exploration. And I find old derelict buildings, unloved places, places that are going to be demolished.
Never before so far on this little investigation that we're doing have I had a greater sense of that underlying presence.
So it's going to be quite an hour. Of course, the main investigation begins right here on Living at 9 o'clock, so keep it right there. Now it's time to give a big Most Haunted Live welcome to the stars of the show. It's Yvette Fielding and Carl Beattie. Well, it is. Yeah. You sign your cheques?
Yeah.
You do? Right. Good to see you.
Nice to see you
Last
too.
night, where should I start? Voodoo dolls, first of all.
Yes. It was
Scary.
Honestly, yes, I didn't. Honestly, when
We were gripped
we were
in
told,
here, believe me.
Well, I couldn't believe it because Carl was saying, yeah, Brian's looking like he's really in pain with his left leg, and I thought, no, come on, because I just never thought it would work.
Yeah, well, and we had a lot of reaction from people on the interactive saying that they were impressed how much it did work, and that they were really impressed by it. Carl, were you anxious about doing that experiment? Because, you know, the word voodoo, people get a bit scared about it, a bit worried.
I wasn't anxious to start with because I've never believed in voodoo, the voodoo doll thing.
Right.
I've respected the voodoo cults and all of that, but I've never really believed in it because I've never done it before. Now, Fred, as everyone knows, I've known Fred for a long time, and there are things about Fred that he comes up with every now and then that make you change your view. And he's done it before on a couple of things, a couple of spells he did, and which blew me away. But this, I just thought, no, it can't. And that's why I asked for a direct feed to the gallery, so the director could talk directly to me to say what was going on, because I didn't expect anything to happen. And every time that pin was put in, it was put in the right leg. Brian's holding his right leg or his right knee.
Yeah, it was.
And it was only halfway through that I started to get worried. I thought, hang on, what have we got here? This is something very, very powerful. And it was only afterwards that Brian was quite upset about it yesterday because, you know, we hadn't told him, but we couldn't. That was the way it had to be. But he's fine now, and I have to admit, there is so many questions raised from that for me, and no answers yet.
Yeah, well, Fred's on the show later in the hour, so we'll talk to him more about
But
it.
it did look very comical. That's the first time I've seen it. I mean, you know, you can't help laugh, but it just looked bizarre, didn't it?
I know, but scary as well at the same time. The other thing was the attic. Don't go up there.
Oh God!
What did you? I mean, you saw legs, didn't? I mean, you saw legs, but no body. Just to go through.
I saw a pair of feet under the thing, and I thought, oh, someone's up here. And I moved the camera up, but there was nothing there. And I moved the camera back down, and then the feet had gone. So there was just feet there. There was no top. But I actually saw them, and I'm trying to look to see if there's bits of rag could have been. I could have thought they'd been it, but they weren't. There were definitely a pair of feet there, but nothing above
and
it.
A big scream, just when we thought it was getting calmer, big scream from Kath.
Oh, I know. Whenever
we all jumped out of our seats in it.
I know. When Kath screams, she really does. I thought I was bad. She's a queen of scream, isn't she? She really, really is. But it all seemed to happen at the end of the show.
Know.
And it's bizarre. We all sort of split up. And, I don't know, it seems sort of classic poltergeist activity. I think because your energy is raised, more activity will occur. And that seems to be the case with what happened last night.
Can't wait for tonight. Now, Saturday night, Living, 9 o'clock. Living with Yvette and Carl.
Yes.
We've been talking about this every night. Are you looking forward to it going out, by the way?
Yes, I Well, yeah, because I think people have a sort of, I don't know, maybe a different view of myself and Carl, and maybe they think that we spend all our time at home screaming and kind of, you know, being a bit strange, but actually we're quite normal.
Well, let's have a look.
How clear? I look like Billy Bunter.
Welcome to OK. Oh, I ate some pies before I came out.
So, you can catch that on Saturday night, 9 o'clock, right here on Living. And just to explain, is this a series of shows every week?
No, it's just a one-off.
Just
Just a sneaky peek.
Fancy a series?
Yeah, it'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it?
Carl?
Definitely.
You got one of your looks on.
Yeah, because our lives are very different to probably what anyone expects them to be. I mean, some of the audience who listened to me waffle on earlier probably have an inkling of what our lives are, but it's a strange thing.
Now, questions from the audience and questions from people at home.
Yep.
So let's go to the phones. And shall we do the audience? Let's do the audience.
Okay.
Right, off we go. And all the way from... Joining us now, Joey, who actually featured in a film that we did for our London special. Didn't you? I recognised you earlier. You were in that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in with Angie.
Yeah, it's good, wasn't it? Well, it's lovely to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
Yeah, now what's your question?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'd like to know, if you could go to anybody's house trick-or-treating, whose would it be and why?
Oh, good question.
Mine would definitely be Billy Connolly's house. I happen to think he is a god, apart from Carl, obviously. And he should be Prime Minister because he's just brilliant. But I don't think he believes in any of this. I don't think he believes in any of the paranormal. And in fact, I think when he did some of his stand-up stuff, he actually mentioned Most Haunted. And I think he said something along the lines of, "That blonde woman, she only makes taps and bangs so she can get a great big close-up of her face." And so I'd love to knock on his door and scare the living devil out of him. I think it'd be brilliant.
What about you, Carl?
Anyone that was dead obviously would be Elvis, because I'd love to knock on his door. Alive, the way I feel at the moment, probably any councillor at this place, just to scare them into doing something about this building and giving their heart back to the community.
Do you want to explain that, Carl? Or?
I think that
We all think.
we all think, and a lot of people we've spoken to, this building is a fantastic building and was the heartbeat of Denby.
Yeah.
It has been ripped out, and it is the councillor's job to protect the community, and they have not done it here. They have let this become a ruin, and it shouldn't be. It should have been made something else so that it gave jobs and everything to this community. They should be disgusted with themselves.
Ben and Carl, that's the reaction. I was in a petrol station earlier. Actually, someone came up to me and said just that to me as well as I was filling up with petrol, so that really just proved. Jolie, great question, by the way. Thank you very much indeed. Give Jolie a round of applause. And, of course, Yvette and Carl will be back later in the evening with the main investigation at 9 o'clock. So will you thank them? Yvette Fielding and Carl Beattie. Now, this show is all about you at home. Honestly, we couldn't do Most Haunted Live without you. You're fantastic. And all this week we've been featuring Most Haunted Live fans and their lives and what they get up to and why they love the show. It's time for another Fans Film.
My name's Keris and I live with my husband in North Wales and I've lived here for around about 2.5 years. I've been a fan of Most Haunted Live quite a number of years. I did actually go to the live Most Haunted at Tatton Park last year, which was absolutely fabulous. It was a really, really, really good night. Absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. My mum got me interested in Most Haunted first of all. I think she rang me up and she said, "Oh my God, they do ghost hunting on telly." So I just sort of flipped over, and since then we both just absolutely love it. And every time there's a live, we have like a Most Haunted night. We have like a little party, and yeah, so it's great.
I've always been interested in the paranormal. There are a couple of experiences I've had in the past, and I got Keris introduced to it once we were watching the programme. I think before then I hadn't told her of my experiences, but once she saw Most Haunted, she was completely gripped, the same as I am.
I think my favourite member of the team probably would have to be Yvette. I just think she's fabulous. She's just so sort of real, and she'd react exactly the same way I'd react, which is brilliant. But I do also love Carl as well. I think because he's so fearless, he'll go and do anything, which is brilliant, you know, whereas Yvette will be a little bit more cautious. Having said that, I think Yvette's really sort of come out of her shell a bit now, and she's starting to be a bit braver, but I love the fact that Carl will just give anything a go. When I heard that Most Haunted were coming to the asylum, I was so excited. Because obviously I live so close, walked past the location so many times, and I've always wondered what it's actually like inside the building. It's got kind of like a mysterious edge to it. Nobody quite knows, you know, nobody knows what goes on inside there. There's a lot of shattered windows, and you always think, oh, you know, I wonder what the inside's actually like. Well, preparing for the live event, we are going in fancy dress costume. So it's not very often you get an opportunity like this, so we'll be, you know, grabbing it with both hands. And I'll be going as a white ghoul type zombie creature. So yeah, so lots of makeup, eyelashes, gonna go the full hog.
Now, do I look the part or what? Even though we only live a minute from the asylum, we will be going by car as the weather is really atrocious up here, and we don't particularly want to be getting all our costumes and our wigs wet.
I just think the fact that it is Halloween, if it's anything like the last one at Tatton Park, it's just going to really, really give the place a right buzz, yeah.
And here she is, it's Keris.
Hello.
And Keris's mum, hello.
Hello.
My goodness, I love the fact you've got an open-top car.
Do you? It's hers, it's not mine.
So you really get spotted when you go out, don't you?
Yeah, especially with dress like this.
Yeah, it's good, it's good. The outfit, how long did it take you to prepare then?
Oh,
I mean,
5 minutes, Julie.
Yeah.
Come on. 5 minutes. Well, I think it's the makeup more than anything, isn't it? Obviously.
You know this room is haunted, the most haunted location.
I hope so.
Yeah, well,
I hope so.
have a night tonight.
When we actually came into the venue, a couple of people said, "Oh, where's the ghost already?" So that's
well,
what
look,
we're here for.
you look great. Well,
Thank you.
great, I think scary.
Thank
That's what it's all
you.
about. Keris and Keris's mum, give them a round of applause. Now, I want you to get interactive with the show. This is all about you at home, and you can get in touch with me right now. You can text me. Let me tell you how you can do it. You can text 80889. The text costs 50p plus a standard rate message, and of course details at our website, mosthauntedlive.net. Now, on to our competition. We've got a great prize we're running right the way through this live, and if you'd like to go on a ghost hunting experience day, courtesy of Virgin Experience Days, you can, because that's what we're offering as our prize this time on Most Haunted Live. You get to go to one of the locations in the UK that they provide. You can choose which one you go to. You have to take it by the end of next March, excluding bank holidays, and you must be over 18. And we'll throw in standard return rail fare from where you live, and we'll put in first class bed and breakfast accommodation as well. So it's a really nice prize. Also, you're going to get priority seating for the next Most Haunted Live event here in the UK, and Series 10 on DVD of the new Most Haunted DVD out next week. And runners-up walk off with the tickets for the next show as well, and you also get the new DVD thrown in for good measure. No return rail fare, though, on that prize if you're a runner-up. Now, what you have to do is answer our question. Here is the question to win the prize. Now, our last live in London was titled A, Total Darkness, B, Complete Blackness, or C, Turn Off the Lights. If you think you know the answer, you can enter now by going to mosthauntedlive.net, and once this Most Haunted Live ends on Halloween, you can still enter by going to the Living website, livingtv.co.uk/competitions, and the competition this year will close at midnight on November the 7th. Now remember to leave your name. The winners will be selected at random and informed later that week, and you'll see a full list of the winners on the Living website. So good luck. I look forward to seeing you. We all look forward to seeing you at the next Most Haunted Live UK event, because it could be you, so make sure you enter. Now time to catch up with one of my colleagues on the interactive team. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome for Susanna.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
And what a night last night.
I know. Well, I am telling you, after last night's spooky voodoo action, I reckon anyone selling soft furnishings you can hide behind would have made a killing today.
Yeah.
I know friends of mine back home who were just cowering behind their sofas, so I'm really looking forward to tonight.
What are we looking for tonight?
Well, we love, as usual, hearing about people's wild, most haunted parties and things like that. But I especially am looking for more sightings of werewolves. I loved that last night.
It's been a bit of a theme, hasn't it?
Yeah, and just more recently, and people came to us with some history that they'd researched, and I think that's really, really exciting.
Well, look,
so more of that, please.
Yeah, brilliant. Susanna, thank you very much indeed. Keep Susanna and the rest of the team busy, please, on Interactive. More from the Interactive team as the show goes on tonight. It's time for us to take our first break, but don't go away. Most Haunted Live Halloween Village of the Damned continues after this.
We're layered up, aren't we?
Yeah,
How many have you got?
Coats, the fleece.
Very cold, very cold. I mean, last night the van was iced up completely. Luckily, I've got a heater on board, so I managed to stay warm, which is always nice.
Hi, my name's Georgina. I'm from Hazel Grove, and this is my pumpkin based on stars and lightning.
Welcome back to Most Haunted Live. We are in North Wales in an abandoned mental asylum set in 130 acres of land, all the buildings here in a dilapidated state, and as we've discovered over the last 5 nights, very much haunted. A perfect location for Most Haunted Live Halloween 2008, and the main vigil begins at 9 o'clock tonight right here on Living. Now, if you're coming to the show tomorrow night, make sure you bring a pumpkin, because everyone who brings a pumpkin is in with a chance of going out on the vigil each night. So it's very important you bring a pumpkin tomorrow night. If you're coming to the show, you're going to be in the audience. And let's meet some of our pumpkin carvers right now. Welcome back to Most Haunted Live. We are in North Wales in an abandoned mental asylum set in 130 acres of land, all the buildings here in a dilapidated state, and as we've discovered over the last 5 nights, very much haunted. A perfect location for Most Haunted Live Halloween 2008, and the main vigil begins at 9 o'clock tonight right here on Living. Now, if you're coming to the show tomorrow night, make sure you bring a pumpkin, because everyone who brings a pumpkin is in with a chance of going out on the vigil each night. So it's very important you bring a pumpkin tomorrow night. If you're coming to the show, you're going to be in the audience. And let's meet some of our pumpkin carvers right now. Now, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, if you bought a pumpkin, can you please lift it up into the air right now? Go for it. Lift up your pumpkin nice and high. Aren't they brilliant? Give them a round of applause. Teresa is Teresa, how big is yours?
Well, he did weigh 8.5 stone to start with.
Really? Yeah. What did you do with the inside?
Black bin bags, I'm afraid, but we're going to grow our own next year.
Right, so where did you get it?
One of the local pubs had been growing them, and the children have been testing to see how ripe they are by standing on them every day before they go to school.
I love it. And of course, you could be going out on the vigil tonight.
Fingers crossed.
So you want to go, yeah?
Yeah,
Not scared?
my friends don't want to go. They've decided to sit further away from me.
Scaredy cats.
Absolutely.
Well, I love it, Teresa. It's really good. Let's also meet Jonathan, who's here. Hi, Jonathan.
Hello.
Now, you've actually bought 2 pumpkins tonight.
Yeah. Well, I started doing one, I enjoyed it so much that I started doing another one as well.
So just take us through the themes of your pumpkins.
That one's a witch, and this one's a dead wizard.
Right, how long did it take you?
Well, I started at Axel Ayers yesterday, and I finished at 4:30 in the morning.
Really? Long job. And how do you feel about going out on the vigil if you're chosen?
I'd love it. I really want to go out.
So you really want to go out? Well, it could be you. It could be anyone in the audience here with a pumpkin. Give our pumpkin carvers a big round of applause. So don't forget, if you're bringing a pumpkin, it could be you tomorrow night. I wish you well, and of course I wish all our pumpkin carvers good luck tonight. Now, the weather has been hideous whilst we've been here. As I was saying on the show last night, the coldest October in the UK in 70 years. And to prove the point, have a look at this.
It's absolutely freezing.
Probably the coldest place I've ever been to.
It is. I go skiing every year, and it's colder than that.
Oh, how cold is it? If I had a brass monkey, I don't think he'd have any jingle bangle balls on him at all.
We're layered up, aren't we?
Yeah, we've
How many
got
have you got?
coat,
One, two.
the fleece.
Very cold, very cold. I mean, last night the van was iced up completely. Luckily, I've got a heater on board, so I managed to stay warm, which is always nice.
Fleeces,
And the fleece.
T-shirts.
Yeah, it's very cold. You can see my breath in the air. So yeah, we're trying to keep everyone warm by lots of cups of tea.
And a cardigan.
I love you. Thank you.
It's -4. We've had snow, we've had sleet, and even though it looks like we're in a building, there's no roof. So it's raining inside the building, it's snowing inside the building, it's very cold.
And do you know what? I've got a backup fleece and a hat, but I say that for later because it gets colder.
Yeah, it's only
darker.
4 o'clock at the moment,
I
so
know.
when it gets nearer midnight,
Yeah,
it's
you
colder.
put it on now, you won't feel the benefit.
Look at this, we're in Romania, -13 degrees, he was wearing shorts. It's snowing, it's cold, it's -4, he's wearing shorts. The man's mad.
Joe, I ought to say, if you're on the crew and you're well armed, you've got to wear shorts, whatever the weather. And of course, the coldest person here is me, because I'm in just a shirt. Now, it's time to meet our next guest. I'm delighted to say our Doctor of Parapsychology and also our resident skeptic. He's here, live on stage, Dr. Kieran O'Keefe. I was just thinking, we've not had a chat in the show for ages, have we?
No, we haven't. We've both been very busy,
I think it was Turin, wasn't it?
I think that was the last time,
yeah, great to see you. As ever, you're dressed for the part.
Yes,
You know, I always think
keeping
when I
warm.
see you, you're straight out of Ghostbusters. I mean, you really are, because you have all the stuff, you know, all the bits
I
of
don't
kit.
have my proton pack, but yeah, that's what
but
people
everything
say.
else.
Yes.
Are you enjoying this series of lives?
I am very, very much so. At the end of the day, when I knew we were coming here, I was so glad that we were going to be here for 7 days, because it is an enormous place, and you can only do justice to it by being here for this length of time.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Now, I know you always get asked about the bits of kit you've got, which is probably no exception with our questions. I know one of our questions coming up. Shall we go to the phones? Hello, Claire in Bath.
Hello, Julian and Kieran.
Hello.
Hello,
And
Claire.
Claire, just before we go any further, are you watching the show on your own or with family or what?
With my other half.
Right. Don't get too scared tonight. Now, what's your question for Kieran?
Okay, it's how did you get into parapsychology?
That's a very, very good question. First of all, the interest, I guess, started with the movie Ghostbusters. That's the first time I heard the term. But in terms of getting into parapsychology, very, very difficult career to get into. You have to go through, probably a psychology degree is the best start. And then after that, you can start to specialise at master's and PhD level. But there are a few courses out there you can take online to try and get a taster for what's going on.
And do you have sympathy, Claire, for Kieran sometimes? Because they all gang up against him, don't they?
I do. I feel sorry for him because I think it's quite a frustrating job.
Yeah, there you are, you see.
Thank you very
Sympathy
much.
there.
Yes, I'm known as the party pooper after all.
Claire, thank you very much indeed. Enjoy the show tonight. All right. Bye. That's Claire in Bath. Let's go to Karen, who's on the line next. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Julian.
Evening. And you're in Cheshire?
I am, yes.
So just down the road. And what's your question?
I just want to ask Kieran, how much does the scientific equipment aid you during the live investigations?
What was that? How much?
How much? Just say that again, Karen.
How does the scientific equipment aid you during the live investigations?
How's it aid you and help you?
I've got so much equipment, and I think the great thing is that what you're getting is an objective measure of the experiences that people have. So when they're sitting around the seance table, for example, and Yvette or Kath say that the temperature drops, I can say, yes, it is dropping. It's not just a figment of your imagination. Or, you know, if people talk about breezes, for example, I've got the thermal imager, I can say, yes, there is genuinely a breeze there, don't worry about it. Or if there isn't a breeze, then maybe we're looking at something a bit more intriguing, perhaps something paranormal.
And have you got new bits of kit this time round? Well, the Tesla machine has to be your biggest bit of kit.
Yes, I can't
That's
carry
enormous.
that round on my belt. That was a fantastic piece of equipment, and all credit to Carl and Yvette for coming up with the idea. Yeah, that was.
Were you impressed
absolutely
scientifically with the concept of what it was doing?
Yes, I was very impressed, also because I know about the research of Tesla and his connection to the spiritualist field, and kind of the idea that he was using radio very, very early to try and get spirit communication or discarnate voices. And that's why I've got Frank's box, you know, this weird radio tuner machine that's causing a storm over in North America at the moment. And I've got it here field testing it and giving the UK an audience a taste of what that's like, you know, so lots of different gadgets.
Karen and Cheshire, thank you very much for coming on the show and asking your question. What about tonight, Kieran? What are you feeling about it?
I'm intrigued by tonight. We're doing a couple of other experiments. I won't say exactly what they are, but again, kind of time slip, sensory deprivation theme like we had on the first night. So looking forward to those. And of course, it's a new area yet again, so we'll see what sort of phenomena happens.
Kieran, lovely to see you. Have a good night tonight. Dr. Kieran O'Keefe, ladies and gentlemen. More from Kieran in the investigation, which is coming up at 9 o'clock tonight here on Most Haunted Live here on Living. Time to take another break. We'll be back very shortly. Don't you dare go away.
My name is Simon Cornwell. My hobby, if you could call it that, is urban exploration. And I find old derelict buildings and love places that are going to be demolished.
My name's Jennifer, I'm from Shotton. This is my pumpkin based on the Grim Reaper.
Welcome back to Most Haunted Live. We're just one night away from the big night, Halloween tomorrow night, but believe me, tonight is going to be just as exciting on the 6th night of our Most Haunted Live special in North Wales. We're in an abandoned mental asylum built in the early 1800s, and all the buildings are literally, as you heard earlier in the show with Carl, sadly falling apart. We are open to the elements, literally. There's rain coming in all over the place, snow last night. What a place to be. Now, let's say hello to two more stars of the show. He captains the investigations from 9 o'clock, and she's in History Corner. Yes, it's Paul Ross and Leslie Smith. Although, I would say after the other night, he also goes out on the investigation.
Yeah, that was the one and only. That was the one and only deal. I hope and pray. It was fantastic and fascinating, but truly frightening to be out there. Particularly when they closed the door and locked that mortuary fridge. Wasn't a nice place to be.
Brave man, Paul, brave man. Leslie, hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you. And the thing that we were talking about earlier about this location is that the history of it is fascinating, isn't it?
And endless.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
exactly.
not least of all, or mostly, because of course the people who were here, and many of whom were in the audience tonight, nurses and workers again, every single night that we've been here, they've been and come and talked to me and told me of their memories, which is what makes it so special, yes.
And without a word of lie, everyone we meet say they're happy that we're here, which is
Oh,
tremendous.
yes. And we're now getting into, I think, the hundreds between us, the people that we're meeting. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, tonight, thoughts about this evening, Paul?
Well, the penultimate night is normally very intense indeed. Everybody knows what they're doing, everybody's at the top of their game, and tonight we're going under this building. We're going to start above with Yvette and the team. We're going to start with a vigil and investigation in this great hall. The audience are part of it, of course, and then they're going to go underneath. So the subtitle of tonight's show is Buried. So who knows what could happen.
What do you think, Leslie?
I think there's plenty buried here, not
Yeah.
least of all the memories and the spirits that will be coming up. It will be a very exciting night. And I hate to worry the audience, but a bat has just landed near my desk earlier, about half an hour ago. No, it wasn't Fred. Sorry about that, Fred.
Yeah. Have you forgotten you sit next to Fred Bat?
I mean a real one.
Yeah, okay. By the way, audience, are you looking forward and have you been enjoying the vigil actually being here with you? Yeah, they love it, don't they?
Yeah,
it's
well,
great.
it's great.
It's what it's all
That's so
about.
great.
It's superb. Shall we take some questions?
Oh, please do.
Yeah, let's go to the phones. Let's head off to Rill and say, hello, Delwyn.
Hello there, Julian.
Good evening, and how are you going to be watching the show tonight?
I certainly am.
Right. Now, let's ask the question. What do you want to ask Paul and Leslie?
Hi, Paul. Hi, Leslie.
Hello.
Hi, I was just wondering, since arriving in Wales, have you picked up any of the Welsh language?
So, since you've been here, have you picked up any Welsh?
I have got one very important phrase indeed. Deliac I wylio tan hynny nos. Which means, I think, keep watching till midnight.
Oh,
come on!
Leslie.
Languages are not my first thing, but I've learnt something important, which is Araf.
Yeah, slow.
I've seen it on the road.
Very good. Delwyn, can we come round your place and have a quick lesson, because I think we need one.
You certainly can, anytime. Drop in.
Right, but let's just say in Welsh for us then, good luck to the Most Haunted Live team for tonight.
Poor poily pawb heno.
Ah,
Sounds
lovely.
Bless you.
Yeah,
Thank you very
Delwyn,
much.
a round of applause, please. That's brilliant. Thank you, Delwyn. Great language. Now, question out in the audience. Shall we go and say hello to them? Let's go for it, and let's find all the way from Swaddling Coat. It's Alan with his question for Paul and Leslie. Hi, Alan.
Yeah.
Right, go for it.
If you were going to go to a fancy dress Halloween party, what would you go as?
I think I'd probably go as a banshee. It'd be pretty easy.
Is that Susie in the banshee?
In this giant string vest I'm wearing tonight, yeah.
Paul?
I'd love to go as a werewolf, because I just think that's the kind of the coolest look, and although that'd be chilly, you could have the hairy feet, the hairy back, the hairy face, and just tear up everybody. So it'd be fantastic. A werewolf.
Right, and what are you going as, Alan?
Dracula.
Yeah.
Very good choice. Right, thank you, Alan. Well done. Say well done to him. Round of applause, please.
Well done.
And of course, Paul will be back to lead the investigation at 9 o'clock. Leslie will be tucked into her computer and books a little bit later on. So say thank you to Paul Ross and Leslie Smith.
Thank you. And thank you.
Now, earlier in the week, we caught up with Clwyd Wynne, who used to work here. Fascinating film from Clwyd, and thank you for a couple of films, actually, from Clwyd. Tonight, we're going to meet an urban explorer, Simon Cornwell.
My name is Simon Cornwell. My hobby, if you could call it that, is urban exploration. And I find old derelict buildings, unloved places, places that are going to be demolished. And I grab my camera and I go around and I photograph them. Oh, there it is. I can see part of it. Now that is impressive. I didn't expect to come from this side. And there it is, the whole thing in glory. Look at that. This asylum was built to impress. Fantastic. The money they spent on this, they wouldn't have been allowed to do this with an asylum later on. It just would have been thrown out. They would have been told, you can't spend all this money on decorating this building. So that is magnificent. Brilliant stuff. Normally you take the bag, torch, water, bit of food, but no, I'm going to go light for this one. For me, it's discovering the history of these buildings. Normally, the asylums, you just get brown tiles, but this one is really colourful, and they've done the same here as they've done everywhere else. You just paint over everything in the 60s. Any decoration or embellishment was done away with. There used to be 120 county asylums throughout the UK, and since 1982, they've started to disappear. To such an extent, there's probably only about 20 left. Ooh, blowing in the wind. I think that'll give a few people a fright when it comes to the vigils. And when I'm exploring, you never go and check anything out, because you never know who else is in here with you. I can imagine they're still full of people, actually, because when you research these places, you can look up the original photographs of wards, and in this instance, I could imagine the beds just lined up across and down either side. If you don't go in and photograph them now and record these places, then they'll be gone. They'll be gone in 5 years, 10 years, but they'll be gone. So this is really the era of the asylums. And this is one of the main corridors, the whole asylum. Everything sort of comes together along this corridor, going in towards the original older part of the hospital, which is the square that made up the original buildings themselves. And now look at it. But I've seen many asylums, and I think this one has got me stumped in places. Even though it's rotten, and even though the ceilings have gone, and even though it's a mess in there, you can just see how parts of it were just so initially beautiful and well designed, and the care was forethought in everyone's thoughts.
Many thanks to urban explorer Simon Cornwell for that film. Really does sum up actually about this building, how amazing it is, and how, as he says, they wouldn't be allowed to build a building so grand these days. But that is the location for our Most Haunted Live, right the way through until tomorrow night at midnight. Now, I'm really pleased to say we've got with us a local paranormal group based here in North Wales, and Tracy, who's the leader of the group, is here. Hello, Tracy.
Hello.
And I love this because you're all mums, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Right, introduce all the mums, because all four of you sitting along here, or three of you are mums of the four, but just introduce everyone.
This is Charlene.
Hello.
And next to her is Ruth.
Hello.
And next to her is Vicky.
Hi, Vicky. Nice to see you. Now, you get up to all sorts of things. For example, I know tomorrow night you're going trick-and-treating with the children, aren't you?
That's right, yes.
I mean, just to talk about that, I mean, people sometimes say they hate... I know people who don't like having trick-and-treaters turning up. How do you handle all that?
Well, in our area, it's really popular.
Right.
Because there's lots of families where we live, and we all tend to go out together. So everyone's really friendly, they'll open the door.
So it's a family thing, which is the way it should be done properly.
That's
well,
right,
good for you for doing that. And I know on Saturday you're off to a party, aren't you?
Well, we've got our own vigil on Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, right, vigil.
Yes.
So where are you going?
We're going to Stanley Palace in Chester.
Right, it should be interesting, shouldn't it?
It should, yeah.
Very scary location.
It is.
Well, look, have a great time doing that. Lovely to meet you, ladies. Thank you for coming. Our paranormal group from North Wales. Give them a round of applause. Now, there's a lot more to come. The main investigation, of course, is starting right here on Living at 9 o'clock. So it's all still to come. I'll see you in just a few minutes.
Never before so far on this little investigation that you're doing have I had a greater sense of that underlying presence.
Hi, my name's Linda Callaghan from Bolton, and this is my Nightmare Before Halloween pumpkin.
Welcome back to Most Haunted Live in North Wales. We are minutes away from the main investigation starting at 9 o'clock here on Living. Our Halloween special, night 6 of 7 nights here in this abandoned mental asylum. And I'm delighted to say, joining me on the stage right now, you've seen him sitting next to Leslie Smith for the last 5 nights. Demonologist, a man fascinated by the black arts and witchcraft. He's here right now. It's Fred Batts! Now, after last night's show and the voodoo doll, I'm being extra nice to you now.
Well, I've got a spare doll of you, Julian, so be careful.
Yeah, I've been a really good boy. We were chatting actually at a party the other week about this. You are someone who's been fascinated about this sort of nearly all your life, haven't you?
For quite some time, yeah. I took an interest in it a long time ago, and it just fascinates me, various aspects of it, really.
Was there something that happened that got you into it in the first place, an event or something?
Not really. I just became fascinated with it and looked further into it, and yeah, I became more and more enthralled with it, really.
Right. This week has been intriguing for me, because watching you and Leslie work together and tying all these things up, I think it's been really fascinating.
It has, especially last night, because sometimes it depends how susceptible the person is. For instance, if I did a doll of Kieran, it would probably either not work or take a long time to work. With Brian, because he's a medium, you saw the instant results, and I was really pleased with that.
So do you have to be someone who's susceptible? Is that what you're
you have to
saying?
believe in certain things. You have to, you know, yeah, you have to be a believer.
And let's just, I know you and Paul talked about this last night, that this is closed down, isn't it, after the show?
It is, yeah. There was a charge put into it before the show. It was in a box so no one could touch it. And then afterwards it's closed down and finished, so it can't be used again.
Right. Has this whole interest changed your view of life in general, or is it something you very much put away and you get interested in when you're not doing your other jobs? Because I know you've got lots of other businesses and so on that you run.
Yeah, it puts another, well, it makes you think twice about everything, really. It puts another aspect on life and the way you live. It certainly has on mine anyway. I mean, I'm involved, as you know, in the nightclub business.
Yeah.
I have nightclubs in London as well. But yeah, there's a lot more to this world than people think. And when someone sees the voodoo doll, for instance, and they see that happening on screen, a lot of people say, oh, God, yeah, it's a trick, you know, they've done this, done that. But I can assure everybody it really does work, and it shouldn't be tried at home.
Yeah, very important to say that. Do not try this at home. Fred, thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Thank you,
we'll see you next to Leslie as the show goes on this evening.
It's been a pleasure to be here.
Good stuff. Fred Batt, ladies and gentlemen. So, from Fred to our resident medium and psychic artist and his wonderful paintings adorning this hall here in North Wales for this Halloween special. Brian Shepherd has been out to visit all the locations each night that we're visiting, and once again tonight, no exception, his Night 6 film right now.
But now that we've got here at this point, never before so far on this little investigation that we're doing have I had a greater sense of that underlying presence. Around where I'm standing now, you know, so far today I haven't felt it greater. It's here, and it's nothing to do with hospitals really at all. I mean, let me say it. I think we're talking now about witchcraft. Given the lack of light down here, I think it's going to be a tall order. I frankly think it's going to be pretty impossible to really sketch anything. So if we just rely on you know, some photographs now, you know, I'll work on that.
With a preview of what could be happening on tonight's show. Now, on the way, more from Interactive, including for the first time, interactive comments from our audience on previous nights, because of course we've done vigils here in this hall and we've had some really interesting stories from members of the audience. That's on the way from Interactive. But right now, here on Living, it's time for the main investigation to begin. I'll hand over to Paul Ross.
Thank you, Julian. Well, it's the penultimate night of our extraordinary paranormal experiment. We have been with you so far for 5 nights. This is night 6, just one more night to explore this amazing building, a former mental asylum in North Wales, opened in 1848, 160 years ago this year, now dilapidated, a virtual ruin. But what secrets lie in store for Yvette Fielding and the team tonight? It has been a remarkable journey so far, but before I reacquaint you with the investigation team, let's take a look at where we started, where we are now, and what might be in store for us tonight.
A forlorn and abandoned insane asylum in Wales provides the setting for an extra special 7 nights of Halloween Most Haunted Live. This sprawling estate, with its own farm, chapel, blacksmith, carpenters, in fact everything it might need to keep it in isolation, was envisaged as a place to shut away the feeble-minded, the seriously deranged and the criminally insane from the rational world. Its community becoming, in the thoughts of many, a village of the damned, where poor unfortunate beings were hidden away from their deluded thoughts. But it is allegedly a place where all manner of strange and inexplicable events occurred. Footprints leading to bricked-up doors, eerie shrieks and cries from empty corridors and stairways, the sounds of invisible doors crashing shut, sinister sightings of dark, shadowy figures, and even tales of witches and demons. Just the unhinged imaginings of the demented, or genuine visualizations of another world beyond ours? The Most Haunted team intend to find out.
So, a chilling prospect in store. What better people to meet the challenges ahead than Yvette Fielding and the investigations team, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Beattie, Ryan Shepherd, and the mighty Dr. Peter Wilkins, parapsychologist and skeptic. Wow. Yvette, no wonder they are cheering. This has been a remarkable journey so far. A TV first, 7 nights of investigations in the same location, this vast location. Last night was actually a real roller coaster, a very strange night indeed.
It really was. I mean, first of all, we had the puppets, the voodoo dolls. I mean, I couldn't believe my eyes or hear what I was hearing, that the voodoo doll of Brian was actually working, and it was just the most bizarre thing. And then right at the
reaction,
end,
for people who didn't see it, A, shame on you, but B, what you missed was remarkable. In a separate room, you had no idea a doll or a poppet, as they're called, made of him. It went in his leg. He was dancing around like Michael Flatley.
I know we're laughing, but it actually does look, forgive me, but it actually, when you first look at it, it does look quite comical. But then when you think about it, you think, hang on a minute, you know, there's no way that Brian knew where we were putting the... He didn't know anything about the voodoo doll.
And as we do know, that doll was brought back to Fred Batt, our black arts experts and demonologist, and was safely disposed of, so there's now no more connection. You also, though, had a close encounter of the foot or leg kind. You saw a sort of weird pair of feet when you were up on the roof area?
Yeah, that was very weird. It was just literally a pair of feet, and when I looked up, I was expecting just to see somebody up there. And I looked up, there was nothing. I looked back down, and the feet had gone as well. So you kind of think, that's weird. And I definitely saw feet. There was no it might have been something else, because I've looked in the area and it could have only been feet.
Now, I know tonight you're going underground, the two of you. The theme of tonight's show is buried, and I've had a lot of people stopping me today, very concerned last night when you started to climb that ladder, and Yvette was worried, and you said, no, it's a concrete roof. Can you reassure people, because they are worried, that we are going to be within proper health and safety guidelines tonight? We know where we're going is more or less sort of okay-ish safe.
What are you
It's more or less sort of okay-ish safe.
Okay, that should reassure everybody at home. Good luck tonight with that, Yvette and Carl. And Brian, what a remarkable few days for you.
Yeah.
You seem to have become a focus for sort of pursuing energy over the last couple of nights.
Paul, what's happening?
Well,
you know, I don't know what's happening to me, but yeah, it seems to be, doesn't it?
What we do know is, though, that you spent time in the different locations around this remarkable building, and for every night's investigation, you've come up with something you've sensed via your psychic art gift. Let's take a look at tonight's drawing, tonight's bit of art. Now, that, to my mind, is about the scariest so far. What came to you when you were preparing that drawing, Brian?
Well, basically, well, as you've just said, it's downstairs, it's underground, it's in the cellars, you know, base level. The feeling down there, the energy down there was incredible, as though it's forcing itself up, I've drawn it that way, haven't I, through the floor, you know, very, very threateningly, as though to grasp onto a person
was it
and
a
drag them
presence
down.
or a sensation you felt elsewhere in this building?
This was more intense, put it that way. I felt a kind of, you know, come with me kind of sensation, but this was reaching up out of the ground, grabbing hold and wanting to sort of drag you down with it, you know?
Very scary stuff indeed. A great night in Prospect. And finally, Dr. Kieran O'Keefe, parapsychologist, packing, as always, your Ghostbusters array of gear there. How's the first 5 nights been for you, Kieran?
Absolutely fantastic. There's been so much that's happened, and watching the VT back from last night when we were all in the different cells, just where do you look? You know, it's absolutely so manic, the amount of phenomena that we've had. There's going to be videotape we're going to have to go through for months and months and months.
And a classic Kath moment last night. When she was in that room with Stuart, that was amazing television, absolutely fantastic.
She can scream, can't she? Yeah.
She certainly can. An amazing investigation again tonight. Now, I know we're starting off in the middle of the audience once again. Can you say yet what's in store for us tonight?
Yes, I can. We're going to start off, I don't know if there's tapping going on.
There is tapping.
If I pick this microphone up, can you hear it? Is this live, this microphone?
We can turn it on now. If we can turn the microphone on now.
Okay. If there's anybody here, please, can you tap twice? Okay. Tap 3 times for me. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? We've all got our feet completely still, and as we've been talking to Paul, that's what's been going on. And you know, because you felt it as well. Very, very strange.
Never mind going underground, let's do this whole show right on the stage.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're going to start tonight. We're actually going to do a live Ouija board right here in the centre of the audience. We've done it before. Sorry, guys, I didn't tell you, did I?
And the thing about it is, without me being flippant about this, this hall has been an intense focus for all kinds of paranormal activity in the past and in our investigation. So we'll ask everybody's absolute concentration and focus as Yvette and the team leave us to prepare for the first part of the visual, the Ouija board session here in the Great Hall. Yvette and the team, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. And again, another first and most haunted live. Once again, we are starting the vigil right here amidst the audience. They are part of tonight's paranormal experiment, and so are you. And every piece of information we gather, we glean, we gain from our various clairvoyants and even from the people on the vigil, we will resource and research via our academic and historian, the gorgeous Leslie Smith. With, of course, the demonic Richard Madeley to her Judy Finnegan, Fed Batts, our black art specialist and demonologist. Give him a round of applause. Wow. Leslie, we had some fun and games last night. Tonight, though, they're actually going underground. And you said earlier on to Julian, this place has got so many levels of history. This must be fascinating for you.
I think it's going to be, seriously, one of the most exciting and challenging nights for the team tonight. Some of the things that are going to be happening here that I've got advanced knowledge of are going to be breathtaking in every sense of the word. And I think people at home are going to be gripping the seats, never mind in the audience, who are going to be taking part of it like I am now. It is going to be a great night.
OK, now, Fred, last night you were absolutely at the heart of the investigation with those remarkable voodoo dolls, voodoo puppets, as they're called. Have you got anything in store for the team tonight?
Not like that, no. I wish I had. But last night was exceptional. It was very good. Sometimes it doesn't work, but it did last night, and it's excellent. But there was a name picked up right at the end of the show, and I'm looking for that tonight. It was an old witch, and I've got the name here, so we'll see what happens. I think she's going to come through tonight.
Okay, well, we anticipate that very keenly, do we not, Leslie? For the moment, thank you very much, Leslie Smith and Fred Batt. As we turn now to you folks at home, you are our eyes and our ears. Everything you see, you can tell us via Julian Clegg and his award-winning interactive team. Julian!
Thank you very much indeed, Paul, and it's been extraordinary the last 5 nights. You've been getting in touch, record numbers, fantastic, and once again I want you to get in touch again tonight. I want you to go to our website to look at the interactive map and the webcams, to send your messages. I want to hear about your most haunted live parties. I want to hear about the strange things happening to you at home, whatever you're sensing or feeling about this extraordinary location as well. Now let's start off with the interactive map on our website, and I do commend this to you because it's such a big site here, 130 acres, and you can see where we've been. The southeast wing on the first night, then the nurses' quarters right over there on night 2, the southwest wing on the 3rd night, then we headed off to the mortuary, you can see that flashing down there, and then the northwest wing. And of course tonight, as we've been hearing, we are going to be underground in the cellars. What a night it's going to be. And we can go through the webcams. The first one's going to be in the front passageway. There it is, flashing up right now. The second webcam tonight will be in the cold storeroom. There it is. The third webcam tonight in the inner room. I wonder what's going to happen there. I think that's an interesting location, that one. And the fourth webcam, the rear passageway. Now, let's call up the webcams themselves right now, live on air. Let's look at them. First of all, webcam 1 located in that front passageway. If you see anything unusual during the evening, you sense anything unusual, you see it, let me know. I'll tell you how to get in touch in a few moments' time. That's webcam 1. Webcam 2 is in the cold storeroom. There it is. By the way, timings are really useful for us because if we get multiple sightings at the same time, that's very interesting, please. That is webcam 2 in the cold store room. Now, webcam 3 is in the inner room, and I think tonight something very significant is going to happen there. I'm not going to say any more, but that's an interesting one. Webcam 3 in the inner room. Keep a keen eye on that through the show tonight. And finally, webcam 4 is in the rear passageway. Let's look at it just there. Can you see something on that webcam tonight? If you can, let me know. Let me tell you how you can let me know. First of all, you can text me. Text the word SCREEN to 80889. Text costs 50p plus 1 standard rate. You can go to the website, mosthauntedlive.net. That's where you can send messages. You can look at the webcams and, of course, look at the interactive map as well. Now, let's go through the competition that we're running right the way through this week and, indeed, well into next week as well. We've got a great prize on offer. One lucky winner selected at random, walking off with a night of ghost hunting courtesy of Virgin Experience Days, including a ghost hunting vigil, a seance and psychic experiments as well. We're adding in standard return rail fare from where you live to the ghost hunting experience location that you choose in the list available. You can take it up until the end of next March, and you must be over 18 to enter the competition. We'll also throw in a first-class bed and breakfast accommodation as well for that prize. And the winner, along with 10 runners-up, walking off with the Most Haunted Series 10 on DVD, which is out next week. And you're going to get tickets, priority tickets, for the next Most Haunted live event here in the UK. So great prize. If you'd like to win it, this is how you can. Here's the question. What was the title of our last Most Haunted Live transmitted in August? Was it A, Total Darkness, B, Complete Blackness, or C, Turn Off the Lights? Enter now by visiting mosthauntedlive.net. Once this Most Haunted Live ends on Halloween tomorrow night, you can still enter by going to the livingtv.co.uk/competitions website, and the competition will actually close at midnight on November the 7th. Please remember to leave your name in case you win so we can get in touch, and your winners will be selected at random and informed later that week, and you'll be able to see a list of the winners on the Living website as well. Now, finally, I leave you with some interactive thoughts from here in the audience. This is the first time we've ever done this, where people in the audience have given us feedback. And this could be interesting as we're about to do a vigil here. Jeanette added, when Yvette was jangling keys on last night's vigil, she sensed the spirit of a man in his 50s that'd been a key holder here in the asylum. She said he was very excitable. And 5 independent audience members have reported to production team and audience services what appears to be the spirit of an elderly woman moving down the corridor into the depths of the building. They all reported her as moving slowly into an area that is cordoned off from members of the public. Is that the spirit haunting this hall? I wonder. More from Interactive later. Paul, back to you.
Thank you, Julian. Well, as Halloween approaches, we cannot guarantee ghoulies or ghosties or long-leggedy beasties, but we have already heard tonight things that go bump in the night, responding to Yvette Fielding's questions. Does that bode ill or well for the upcoming Ouija board session with Yvette in the heart of our audience right here in this former mental asylum in North Wales? Find out after this.